Donald Trump is waging a war on scientists in New York and across the country. If you're not that into it, let me give you the quick Reader's Digest. So, New York has a robust science infrastructure, especially on Long Island and in New York City, and they're facing massive disruptions. Labs are paused, budgets are slashed, staff is being let go, future collaborations, both here in the US and with our international partners, are stalled. There are some legal interventions underway, and that might slow or reverse some of these actions. But the uncertainty will lead to long-term consequences for the science community and the greater economy at large. So let's delve into it. Right after Trump took office, he signed an executive order with a broad freeze on federal grants affecting over 2,600 programs. And this includes the National Institute of Health, the NIH, as well as the National Science Foundation, the NSF, as well as other agencies. Major agencies are facing deep cuts in their budgets for the proposed 2026 fiscal year. The NSF will be down 55%, NIH down 40%, CDC down 44%, NASA by 52%. In the Natural Science Foundation, they're halting grants, grant payments, as well as any review panels, and they're laying off massive numbers of their workforce. Hundreds of university grants, especially and including those in New York universities, are abruptly canceled or frozen. At the NIH, the grants had been suspended, and there was a cap imposed on indirect cost reimbursements, costs that are beyond the direct purview of a lab. This will jeopardize labs like the Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory or the Stony Brook Lab. Over $900 million in the New York State area funding is in jeopardy here. In Long Island alone, it's $160 million of funding that's in jeopardy. A federal court temporarily blocked this NIH cut after 22 states sued, but there will still be long-term consequences of this. Currently, so let's talk about some of the long-term consequences of these cuts. Right now, researchers are halting their studies on Alzheimer's, cancer, infectious disease, and vaccine studies in the greater New York area. There is a real brain drain underway as many scientists are deciding that the US and New York and Long Island are not the right place to do their studies. 75% of researchers are considering departing the US to do their studies elsewhere, whether it's Europe or Asia. And this is going to have a real long-term impact on New York's science infrastructure. There have been widespread data purges and agency staffing cuts, especially on research related to hot-button political issues like climate change or LGBTQ issues or other science that's related to the culture war issues. Federal scientists have seen massive layoffs at NIH, CDC, and other agencies. What this means for New York specifically is obviously the funding restrictions, the loss of talent. There will also be a huge economic loss for New York State. For every dollar that is invested by the government in R&D and science research in New York, we get about a 2.5x benefit immediately from that funding. And so these cuts are going to have ripple effects across the American economy, into jobs, into the R&D that these agencies do on behalf of the private sector. We're also going to see a loss of collaboration between American scientists and the rest of the world, as the innovation is going to start to outflow from the greater New York area. Now, there are some legal proceedings happening. These lawsuits are being carried out, but really the long-term consequence might already have taken place, as we have now lost months into research into the world's most important diseases, into AI, into the other things that these institutions, whether it's our universities or our labs or hospitals, are doing. We are losing the cutting edge research, and we're losing our competitive advantage against the rest of the world by making these cuts.